The 12 zodiacal angels, their offices, and some of their associations. So a lot of people are interested in working with the 12 angels of the Zodiac. Hello everyone, thank you for joining me today. This is Taliesin McKnight, and this is a video just for Patreon only. And of course, after a year, this will be available for everybody. The 12 zodiacal angels based on the classical sources. So, first of all, we will be taking a look at Agrippa's 3 books of occult philosophy. Book 2, chapter 12. Nope, chapter 14. The 3 books of occult philosophy, Book 2, Chapter 14, we get the names of the 12 zodiacal angels. And also, so there's a few things to touch upon here. We get 12 different permutations or rearranging of the letters of the tetragrammaton, YHVH, the 4-letter name of God, as a way to contact these angels. And the sigils of these, of course, Agrippa's 3 books of occult philosophy were published between 1509 and 1510 and would pass around in manuscript form until book 1 was published in 1531 and all 3 books of the occult philosophy published together in 1533. And in 1617 or 1618, the magical calendar would appear. The magical calendar provides us, it is the earliest source. I believe there's another similar manuscript around the same time. The magical calendar, this is a book, I had it upside down, by Adam McLean. He goes over the different aspects of the magical calendar. It was a copper plate that it provides the sigils of these angels. And if you have this book, on page 98, it's also available on Esoteric Archives. You look at Magical Calendar, Esoteric Archives. You can get these for free. Underneath the name, you see the sigil. The sigils of the 12 zodiacal angels, right under the names. And so, 1617, 1618, we have our Renaissance sources on the sigils of the angel. Then the divine cabal. The divine cabal provides us with some pretty interesting offices of the angels. So, as I try to do in these videos that I make, we're going to go through these different sources throughout the centuries and take a look at this here. Now, something else that is very interesting is that the divine cabal, this is different because I found no difference. I've always just called the Shem angel directly, always, with fantastic results. Everyone I've talked to calls the Shem angels directly. I've tried both methods. I've noticed no difference whatsoever. But in the divine cabal suggests that first you call the angel of the Zodiac using the name of, I call upon you Zuriel. Zuriel is the angel of Libra. I call upon you Zuriel as an example in the name of, and then you say the name of God, the 4-lettered name. So they rearrange the 4-lettered name of God. I call upon you in the name of blank. That 4-lettered name, that rearrangement of the letters. And then you call on the archangel of the zodiac sign, and you could ask for something within its office, or you can ask it to then send you the Shem angel. So the Divine Cabal provides us with this type of hierarchy, where there are the 12 zodiacal angels invoked with the 4-letter associated with the zodiac sign, and then that angel is called upon to send the particular Shem angel, one of the 6 Shem angels within that sign, because they're 6, they're quinaries. Each Shem angel governs 5 degrees each. Each zodiac sign has 30 degrees. So you get 6 Shem angels within each sign. I have used this. I almost keep saying I never used this. I have, but I almost never do. And I've noticed no difference. But it's just interesting to note. And it would be remiss not to note it. So, if you have a copy of Agrippa's 3 books of occult philosophy, I recommend you get it out now. You could pause the video and you go to book 2, chapter 14 of the number 11 and the number 12 with a double scale of the number 12, Kabbalistical and Orphical. Here with the number 12, Agrippa gives us the name of the angels, a permutation of the 4-lettered name YHVH or YHVH, and breaks it down into several other, the angels, the 12 tribes of Israel, 12 stones, 12 herbs, 12 plants, you know. So it's pretty interesting stuff. So let's take a look at this. We're going to work through this bit by bit, or piece by piece, rather. And I'm going to type this out for people as well. I'm going to pin it as a comment on actual YouTube. And you'll be able to look at this. I'll make it a comment where you can have a written reference here. So we're going to the 16th century material. The angel, we're going to work through these. The first angel is Malchidiel, governs Aries. Malchidiel. And of course, just like the birth angel, the Shem angel, you could also work with the angel that governs your sun sign. Some people find that useful. And you can do that through the same stone. Not the same type of stone. I would use a different one, but the same kind. So Malchidiel, I think the Divine Cabal says Malchidiel. Interesting, a little variation. Agrippa, I would go with Agrippa. I always prefer to go back to Agrippa. It's like the source. Well, it was a writing down of oral traditions and stuff like that, and earlier traditions that a lot of it probably doesn't exist. It's a collecting of knowledge. I don't think Agrippa was just making stuff up. He was writing stuff down. He saw himself as a preserver, and he was. So Malchidiel governs Aries. And the stone is Sardonyx. He says Sardonyx, but that's Sardonyx is the stone. Interestingly, if we go to the Divine Cabal, it says that the name means aid of God. His office is to instruct the way to shun sins and avoid the occasions of evil doing. Now, not everybody's a Christian trying to avoid sin. You know, you have to see what fits for you. However, someone that is trying to avoid... Sometimes we feel compelled to do things that trip us up and mess us up. We know that it's going to mess us up, but we feel compelled, right? Like someone that has an addiction or someone that has a compulsion to do something they know isn't the right thing. It's going to mess them up in the end, right? So whether you take it from a moral standpoint, this is sinful, you could also interpret it as to help me avoid this thing that's going to trip me up if I do it. You know what I mean? That's something everyone can find useful. Now, if we go to the magical calendar here, and we take a look, yep, it says Sardonyx. Of the sacred birds, the owl. The sacred tree is the olive. Sacred plant is sage. So that's interesting. That is, that's from 1617, 1618. It's a Renaissance text, you know. So that's interesting. For Malchidiel, you see the owl, the olive, sage. All right. And, yeah, so the next angel, according to Agrippa, is Asmodel. Did you hear that? I don't know what that, nobody else, you know. Anyways, Asmodel, angel of Taurus. And some would note a similarity to the name of a demon that's similar. I'm not going to name it, but so Asmodel is the angel of Taurus. And the four-letter of Aries, the four-letter name is like YHVH, YHVH. But for Asmodel and Taurus, it's YHHV or YHVH. The stone Agrippa gives is Carnelian, which is interesting. Carnelian for that. So, and this angel of Taurus associated with the billy goat, the dove. The tree is myrtle. The plant is upright vervain. Now, according to the divine Cabal, Asmodel means destruction of enemies. His office, or destruction of enemies of God. His office, according to the divine Cabal, is to teach the grand art. What is the grand art? His office is to teach the grand art and to infuse in the mind the science of rhetoric and grammar. The third, the angel of Gemini is Ambriel. The four-lettered name is YHVH. And the stone is Topaz. And there's a difference in the divine Cabal with the, let me take a look here. Yeah, there are a few differences with the permutation of tetragrammaton. I would go with Agrippa. But anyways, Ambriel, according to the divine Cabal, Orator of God, it says his office is to teach astrology, geometry, arithmetic, and algebra. All right. And then we go over here to the magical calendar. So the animals are the bull, the cock, you know, I'd probably say rooster or something, you know. Laurel, bending vervain. And again, it says the stone is topaz. And it provides the sigil there in the magical calendar. You can go to Esoteric Archives and pull up the sigils. This is the earliest appearance of the sigils. Appears in the 1600s. And so, Ambriel, Orator of God. Yeah, his office is to teach astrology, geometry, and arithmetic, and algebra. Cancer. Cancer is Muriel. The four-lettered name is YHVH. And so Muriel, according to Agrippa, The stone is Chalcedony. Chalcedony. Very interesting. For Muriel, it's Chalcedony. And this is Cancer. Sorry, that's Cancer. Chalcedony. And Muriel, associated with Cancer. And the animals, the dog, the ibis. The tree is hazel. And the plant is comfrey. Muriel. So as long as the plants aren't toxic or whatever, you could burn the herb. You can have, these are associations that can help you form a magical link with these angels. Muriel. Muriel, Lord of the Height. His office is to elevate to employments and temporal dignities. So if you want that job promotion or to move up your station in life, Muriel. So let's say you're a Cancer. We have all 12 signs of the Zodiac in our birth chart, by the way. It's not just our sun sign. We can work with any of these. But a lot of people, they like to, work with a particular angel, the sun at their birth. Muriel, Lord of the Height, his office is to elevate to employments and temporal dignities, and to instill moral and theological virtues. So if you're trying to gain virtues such as courage or temperance or whatever, but also it elevates to employments and temporal dignities. It helps you move up your station in life. So, Leo, the angel is Verchiel, according to Agrippa. The stone is jasper. So let's say that you're a Leo, or you want to work with the angel of Leo. Jasper is the stone. Okay, Verchiel. And by the way, the divine Cabal has Barachiel, blessing of God. It's interesting. His office is to deliver men from pains and tribulations. So Hamaliel is the angel of Virgo. The stone is emerald. Hamaliel, it's He Yod Vav, respect and fear of God. His office is to deliver us from all mortal sins and to make us resist the devil's temptations. Very Christian sounding, but that's what the divine Cabal gives us. But let's remember that what I said earlier, sometimes we feel compelled to do things that we know will mess us up. We have addiction, we have desires that we know could mess us up in the end. This can help save us from ourselves to a degree. So that's Hamaliel. Zuriel, that's where the sun is currently. Zuriel, the angel of Libra. The stone is beryl. Beryl. So, Zuriel. Zuriel. The stone is beryl. And, so animal, the ass, the birds, the goose, the box tree, very interesting. Plant garlic. I wouldn't associate that with Libra. Sometimes these associations are a little surprising. So, Zuriel, force of God. His office is to teach theology, metaphysics, and geometry. Scorpio, Barbiel. And I always associate, it's a mnemonic. It helps you remember. I always thought of the barb, the tail of the scorpion, like a barb, like it's sharp, like barbed wire, barb. Barbiel. Easy way to remember the name. Barbiel. The stone is amethyst. Its animals are the wolf, the woodpecker. The tree is dogwood. And then the 12 sacred plants is wormwood. Interesting. Let's take a look at Agrippa here. So Barbiel. Yep, amethyst. Barbiel. The divine name is Yod Vav He He. Sincerity or purity of God. His office is to explain things obscure and doubtful, and to teach what things are beneficial for the health. Sagittarius. In Agrippa, we have Adnachiel, and the stone is hyacinth. Adnachiel, Vav-He Yud-He. Adnachiel, repose of God. His office is to instill eloquence and consent, to teach what death a person may avoid. He tells the hour of death to any person that prays to him and gives salutary advice. So it can tell you what kind of death to avoid, kind of help you watch out for death, and can even tell you when you're supposed to die. That's interesting for the angel of Sagittarius, Adnachiel. But also he gives eloquence and consent, He gives eloquence. Adnachiel. The stone is hyacinth. Let's take a look. You could look these up yourself. It's in Agrippa. And then the magical calendar, you can get this excellent book, or you can just look it up on Esoteric Archives. You can get all these things here. Sorry if I missed a couple with all the things, but Jacinth, it says. So the animals of Adnachiel, the Sagittarius, the deer, the crow. Of trees is the palm tree, and pimpernel is the plant. All right, we get to my sunshine, Haniel of Capricorn. All right, let me see. Haniel, Capricorn, chrysoprase. That's my stone I have around my neck. Chrysoprase, that's pure Agrippa right there. Haniel, the divine cabal. It's in Agrippa says He Yud Vav He. So, the oath of God. His office is to teach music, logic, and moral philosophy. So, pretty interesting. And we're just looking at these classical sources here. It's not hard to get these classical sources. Haniel, the lion. Interesting. Yeah, it gives the stone his chrysoprase. It's whatever on my neck. The lion. That's pretty surprising. Birds, the heron. Sacred trees, pine. I could see that. The sacred plant is dock. So, interestingly, the angel of Aquarius is Gabriel. Yeah, Gabriel or Gabriel. Now, whether or not these are the same angel, they're different offices. I like even whether or not they are the same angel. I always like to treat them as distinct. Gabriel or Gabriel, the stone is crystal. That's Aquarius. And the four-lettered name is He Yud Vav He. And Gabriel, according to the divine cabal, it's exalter, workman of God. His office is to transport a man from one place to another, to deliver from prisons and slavery. Let's say you're in a bad situation, or you're in a place that you don't want to be stuck. Gabriel can help you break free of that. And the stone is crystal, like quartz. And the animal is the sheep. The sacred bird is the peacock. The tree is the buckthorn. And then the plant is dragonwort. And finally, we come to the last one of Pisces, Barchiel. Barchiel, the stone is sapphire. According to Agrippa, that's the stone of Pisces, is the sapphire. Barchiel, the divine name is HVHV Yud. Now this is interesting. The divine cabal gives the name as Thunder of God, but here this is interesting. His office is to defend us from evil spirits, to defend men or humans, to defend people from evil spirits. Pretty interesting. I started last year. I've already come full circle with the Shem angels, which shows you don't have to start with Vihuya and Aries. You could start I started within Libra last year. I've come full circle. I started off, I should have continued. I didn't though. working with each zodiacal angel as well. So when the sun, anytime the sun was in that sign, I would do the day and hour of the sun. So if you use planetary hours, very simple. The sigils are provided in the magical calendar. You have the sigil. I used to like to paint the sigil. I'd have a candle on each side. I may have the stone or something if I wanted to. And then, during the hour of the sun, or the day and hour of the sun, while the sun's in that sign, I would just do my invocation. I had very vivid experiences. And I always found it to perfectly serve what the Divine Cabal gives as the office. So, in a nutshell, in addition to the 72 Shem angels, if you're already working with the Shem angels, maybe this is something to incorporate. I did. I started off that way. I didn't continue it, but I think I might pick it back up. But this is something you might incorporate. Call upon the zodiacal angel. And maybe experiment. I didn't see any difference whatsoever, but maybe experiment. Call on the angel of the sign of the zodiac, using the permutation of the four-letter name of God. Ask it to send the Shem angel, then have the interaction with the Shem angel. I didn't notice any difference. Everyone I know just calls on the Shem angel directly, but you might experiment. But the 12 angels of the zodiac, this is found in Agrippa in the 1500s. A century later, we see the sigil given in the magical calendar. And then in the Divine Cabal, we get some interesting offices. I found the offices useful, and it's pretty interesting. I encourage people to experiment. It's interesting. I'm surprised I haven't made a video on this yet. So here we go. And this is a Patreon day, so it ends up on Patreon. So the 12 angels of the zodiac. Maybe you would like to work with the angel of your sun sign or your moon sign. Or you might want to work with the angel of your rising sign. And the same goes for Shem angels. A lot of people, they work with their birth angel based on their sun sign. You could also work with the angel governing the quinary of your moon or your rising. So now that we have the building blocks, the basic elementary stuff established, now these are places that we could start expanding. Start doing all kinds of interesting stuff with our magical practices, because you're on your way to becoming an adept at angel magic. You're already on your way. You're doing angel magic. So these are places for further experimentation. It's not like, I just did a full cycle with the Shem angels, I'm done. First of all, you can get deeper and deeper with the Shem angels, okay? That doesn't stop. But in addition, there's all these other things that we can do. The 12 angels of the zodiac. So, that's it for today. Thank you so very much for joining me. And I'll see y'all in the next video. Have a great day, y'all.